All right. Well, good morning. Welcome to the Sunday morning live Zoom for the Center for Spiritual Living Tahoe-Truckee. I'm Rev Pam Brandman, the senior minister here at the center, and it's my joy to welcome each and every one of you here, whether you're here in person or online or watching us at your convenient time. But we want to remind everybody that we know that there are many paths to God, but they all end in oneness and in love. And so our center's purpose is love. Our vision is embracing all and serving with love while awakening to the one. We set our intentions for today with our receptivity statement that you'll see on the screen if you would read along with me. I am here by divine appointment. Something I am about to hear applies to my life. I am open, receptive, and willing to explore the possibilities. This morning, our musician is Jahred Namaste, and he is sharing his videos with us today from the Big Island in Hawaii. So he's close but still safe from the fires in Maui. So please help me welcome Jahred Namaste.
Back when I was at Inner Light every week, Inner Light down in Santa Cruz with Reverend Deborah Johnson, this song was her favorite. And often when I would come to her with needing counsel, she would quote these lyrics back to me as kind of a way of saying, like, you already know what you need to do. And I think her favorite line, and probably mine too, is this first one, which says, "There's nothing lost that can't be found. There's no story too big that it can't be put down for one moment of connection with Thee, the Almighty." So this is healing. There's nothing lost that can't be found. No story too big that it can't be put down for one moment of connection with Thee, the Almighty. God has blessed me, God has blessed me. Let it rain down, sweet healing upon me. Let it rain down, sweet, sweet healing, yeah. There is a place inside, can't be hurt, can't be touched, totally divine. We are emanations of Thee, the Almighty. God has blessed me, God has blessed me. Let it rain down, sweet healing upon me. Let it rain down, sweet, sweet healing, yeah, upon us all. Let it rain down, sweet healing. For this beautiful earth, Mama Gaia, sweet, sweet healing, yeah. We have one song, one hope, one prayer for this earth, that her waters run free and pure like they did before we came. They shall again. And may the waters of your heart run just as pure like they did before you were hurt, just a child in the arms of God, the Almighty. God has blessed me, God has blessed me. Let it rain down, sweet healing upon me. Let it rain down, sweet, sweet healing, yeah, upon us all. Let it rain down, sweet healing. For this beautiful earth, Mama Gaia, sweet, sweet healing, yeah. There is a place inside, can't be hurt, can't be touched, totally divine. We are emanations of Thee, Almighty. And there's nothing lost that can't be found, no story too big. We put it down for one moment of connection with thee. The Almighty, God has blessed me, God has blessed me. Let it rain down, let healing rain down. Let it rain down, let it rain down. Let healing rain down, let it rain down. Let it rain down. I want to take this moment to send off prayers and love and blessings in the form of rain, the beautiful island of Maui, and compassion to all the people struggling over there with the fires. I want to thank you for listening. I want to thank you for having me. And I'll see you again real soon. Peace and blessings, shaka and aloha, and I look forward to seeing you again real soon. Bye.
Yeah. So the rain coming down. So we're knowing that it's going to come down gently, and everyone will be prepared and healing the planet. Gaia, as he was speaking. Well, this brings us to our practitioner this morning, Carol DalBon, and she will be leading us in our special reading in the invocation. She's coming to us today from Sacramento, and she's accompanied by her sweet little puppies. So if you hear some extra excitement, know that all is well with them as well. But help me welcome Carol DalBon.
Thank you, Reverend Pam. Yes, I do have background noise occasionally here, but I don't have that beautiful scenery that Jahred had. That was really nice to see the greenery behind him. And our August theme has been my passion, my purpose, and Reverend Pam's talk will be perfectly imperfect passions. And then the reading this morning is from the Science of Mind textbook, page 478 and 479. And it's from the John 14:1 from the Bible. Let not your heart be troubled. Let not your heart be troubled. Ye believe in God. Believe also in me. His disciples were depressed, having an instinctive sense that Jesus was about to depart from them. They were filled with sadness. It was on the eve of his betrayal that he spoke these words, "Let not your heart be troubled," with that calm certainty which has ever been given to the believing. He was not afraid. He had already plumbed the depths of human existence and penetrated into the beyond. He knew that he was an immortal being. Our hearts are troubled over many things, and our mental burdens often become unbearable. It seems at times as though a cup of bitterness were being held to unwilling lips with the demand that they drink. Jesus, standing at the threshold of his greatest experience, foreknew that he would turn apparent defeat into glorious victory. From the calm depths of an undisturbed soul, he spoke words of comfort to those of lesser understanding. He told them to believe in God, and because of their belief in God, to believe also in him. Again, he is referring to the individual I as the outward manifestation of the universal I am. We are to believe in ourselves because we believe in God. The two are one. We are to know that passing events cannot hinder the outward march of the soul. The temporal imperfection of the human cannot dim the eternal integrity of the divine. I need to get back to reading Ernest Holmes again because he has this special way that you forget about. of explaining things, and it's interesting. So to open our meeting today are at the Center for Spiritual Living Tahoe-Truckee, some of us there in person and some of us on Zoom, knowing of this one spirit that Ernest speaks of, and Reverend Lloyd Tupper also, this oneness, this goodness, this beauty, this knowing, this knowledge, this abundance, all of this is within each one of us that I call God. This knowing helps us through our days and leads us into our new opportunities, whatever they may be. Knowing that Spirit is behind each of us, we know our connection, and we can feel that here at the center and on Zoom, that knowingness that each of us is one with God and we are one with each other. So this goodness spreads throughout the room, throughout the area, wherever we are. Knowing this togetherness, this oneness is very important. And that we have this backing wherever we need it, that there is always Spirit, and that Spirit is the one within. And I know for today's message that this will resonate with everybody, and especially some of us will especially find it's something that we need to hear. And the music with Jahred in Hawaii and on the Big Island, and in gratitude for everybody else involved, like Diana with the sound, and those who are helping with the time after with the food. And wish you were there. I wish I was there. But anyway, thank you for everybody's help today in the service, knowing that it is the perfect service for everybody. I let these words go, knowing they're the truth. And so it is.
And so it is.
And then I would be asking Jahred to come back again.
Aloha again. I could not send you a video from Hawaii without sending you an ukulele song, right? So this one is a newer one called No Rush. No rush, no hurry. We don't got to worry about nothing. No rush, no hurry. We don't got to worry about nothing. There ain't no place we got to go. So save all our troubles for tomorrow. 'Cause I got you, and baby, you got me. Tell me what else could we need? No rush, no hurry. We don't got to worry about nothing. No rush, no hurry. We don't got to worry about nothing. Nothing now. Sometimes you got to take it slow. Remember to go easy with the flow. There ain't no thing we wanting for watching the waves caress the shore. Who could ask for more? No rush, no hurry. We don't got to worry about nothing. No need to worry. No rush, no hurry. We don't got to worry about nothing. No rush. Alright, thanks again for having me. Aloha. Aloha again. Aloha again.
Fabulous, you know? Just go with the flow and everything is so easy. And that's really partly what I want to talk about today but there's this thing called perfectly imperfect passions. So we always try, when we're not in the flow, it's because we're trying to be perfect rather than imperfectly perfect, right? And following our passion. So this is one of the spiritual paradoxes that brings me a sense of both joy and freedom. You know, a well-lived life is full of perfect imperfections and passion, right? So, you know, in my life, there was a time when I strove to be perfect. I think it peaked when I was 12 years old. I was the oldest in mind I ever was. And it was Easter morning. I had on this beautiful white and green dress, you know, full dress. We're sitting out on the front porch getting our pictures taken as we did every Easter morning. I had my long blonde hair was pulled back. I had this dark green headband that matched the belt on my dress. And sitting out in the front porch, the full skirt was just spread out perfectly in a semicircle, just posed like a photographer would pose you. Now, my dad was a photographer in World War II, so that's how he did it, right? And so there was just a bare hint of a smile. And I sat up tall and proud because I was about to enter the world to be a perfect adult. And I was going to have to pay adult prices on restaurants and the movie. And this was so great. And my dad didn't think it was so great, but I did. And but then, of course, life disappointed me. Whenever I thought I had mastered being perfect, something would happen to trip me up and remind me of my humanity. We're not perfect, right? We're all a work in progress. No matter how hard I tried, being perfect eluded me time after time. You know, there was some of the big ones I remember was getting halfway to the airport and realizing that I had left the tickets at home. Zipping back to home, and we made it, but only because they were holding the door for me. But we made it. Or most recently, we went down to Asilomar, and I had dropped my phone, so my phone wasn't working anyway. But I didn't have a charger because I had left all my chargers at home, so my watch didn't work. I thought that they didn't have any hair dryers. I'd left my hair dryer at home, and so I had to air dry my hair. It was about 90% humidity, so I had these beautiful beach curls. You know, it's like, wow, didn't know that would still happen. So it was a lot of fun, but I had to just let go and just be. I was on a real retreat. You know, and then also, you know, but then there's this kind of workaholic tendency of perfectionism that's alive and well in me. And I can remember finishing a report at work one time, and I got it done. I had a boss who really wanted it done on time, but the result is that I was late picking up my daughter from daycare, which was probably a worse impact on her than getting that report done. But we're not perfect, right? And so one of the ways that I have reconciled not being able to do almost everything perfectly or even do some things perfectly was to sort through what I was most passionate about and to focus on first things first, right? Some things are worth doing at an A level, and some things are worth doing at a C level, and some things are not really worth doing at all, right? So and also another thing that's important is to take time for spiritual practice, to experience that divine presence, to share that joy, wisdom, and peace with other people through my ministry, right? To be a center of that presence in the world. Another priority is to enjoy being with my husband and traveling together, right? And to stay connected with our children. To do things that support maintaining a healthy environment. Another thing for me that's really important is doing things that maintain a healthy environment. You know, so what things are you guys passionate about? You know, what's really important to you? Just name one thing. What? Grandkids. Yes, of course. That's traveling, right? Adam? Ukulele. You know, got to have a little bit of that this morning, right? Adam? Parents? Yeah. So we have all these things that are really important to us, but we spend so much time worrying about all this other stuff, and you know what's really important. Now, why don't we spend all of our time pursuing our passions? You know, passion doesn't require perfection. You know, in fact, it's self-doubt is what can freeze us. You know, it's easy enough to doubt ourselves and our abilities, but you know, in our amygdala in our brainstem creates our first reaction to any threatening situation. You know, it launches us into that freeze, flight, or flee reaction, right? We're hardwired with this survival instinct, which was really great when we had to deal with tigers and fighting, you know, all those kinds of things. But it also means that it's easy to believe that we aren't good enough to handle a difficult situation. You know, or we fear that someone won't want the gifts that we have to offer, right? We feel afraid when we come out of our comfort zone in unfamiliar territory with new people, right? Will they welcome us? Well, if you're here at CSL Tahoe-Truckee, you'll be welcomed. But it's not that way everywhere. Some people may start believing that someone is out to get us even, right? All of that idea. There's so many people now that really get caught up in that, and we can believe that we must compete for a limited supply of whatever it is we want, jobs or opportunities, desirable partners perhaps. You know, the universe responds to this false belief by saying okay and blocking our ability to see the possibilities that would manifest for us other than what we're afraid of, right? What we fear comes upon us. And sometimes people, when they run into this kind of adversity and obstacles, they just give up, you know, and they just stay stuck where they are. It's a known awfulness, right, that they want to stay with. Now, Steve Maraboli, in his book Unapologetically You, says, stop trying to fix yourself. You're not broken. You are perfectly imperfect and powerful beyond measure. It's important to realize that our dreams and our passions are valid. They have a reason for existing. As they manifest in the world, it's like we're planting a seed, nurturing it as it sprouts and grows into first a seedling and then gradually matures into a plant or a tree, right? But we judge ourselves and our first steps when we try something new by standards that are set by others that may have practiced for many years whatever it is that we're trying to accomplish. You know, Yale and Stanford psychologists, writing over the last 15 years, they claim that rather than being something innate, passions grow through persistence, right? It's not just something that we're born with. It's something that there might be a seed there, but we have to develop it. We don't just find those passions. And so their research dispels that common theory that if you don't enjoy something the first time, you may not have a natural interest in it. Well, sometimes you have to try something out a few times before you get over that, this is too difficult feeling, and it becomes something good. You know, you have a new habit, a new way of being that you're setting in place. Now, there's lots of examples of people who did develop those passions. A great artist, Vincent van Gogh, began painting as a beginner. He took classes and experimented with new colors and painting techniques. And we don't have to expect that our first painting will be as great as the Starry Night, right? But sometimes we expect that of ourselves. Our founder, Ernest Holmes, He inspired audiences with his talks in large audiences and on the radio, but not before he had earned a certificate in elocution. He'd studied Emerson and other philosophers and spent many hours in meditation, so he was inspired. He was channeling spirit when he spoke. Lindsey Vonn, she fell in the snow many, many times before she won Olympic gold. Right? Lots of practice there. A few broken bones, but all of these admired and successful people followed their passions, and even when it was scary, and even when they encountered opposition. Now, there's an excellent example of Jim Carrey and his dad. Now, Jim Carrey had a natural talent and passion for being dramatic and funny. He had plenty of time to practice, though, because his parents would invite friends over when he was a child so he could entertain them. So he got to practice and develop his shtick, as you will. He quickly discovered that he found great joy in making people laugh, and he was good at it. With much persistence, Carrey became first a stand-up comedian and then an actor. Now, Carrey practices transcendental meditation, and he credits visualization techniques with much of his career successes. Right? The law of attraction he spoke about on Oprah Winfrey one day. In a video that was posted by the Daily Mail, Jim Carrey described a valuable lesson he learned from his father. So many of us choose our path out of fear disguised as practicality, Carrey said. My father could have been a great comedian, but he didn't believe that it was possible for him. So he made a conservative choice, and instead he got a job as an accountant. Regular paycheck, take care of that family. But Carrey reveals the moral of the story. When I was 12 years old, he was let go from that safe job. Our family had to do whatever we could to survive. I learned many great lessons from my father, not the least of which is that you can fail at what you don't want, so you might as well take a chance on doing what you do want to do. All right? Now, Carrey started performing stand-up comedy as a teenager while he worked odd jobs to help his family, so he kept that cash flow going while he practiced. But he kept his following, his passion as being a comedian and actor and making audiences laugh. He even tried out for SNL 3 times and got rejected all 3 times. This is Jim Carrey. Can you imagine? You know? But his life has been about thriving rather than just surviving. Right? He kept that passion front and center. So when we're following our passion, we need to give ourselves permission to experiment, to fail, to try again, to get better, and eventually succeed, right? And so one of the things that can hold us back, though, in developing our passions is fear of failure, right? Now, each of us is a unique expression of that one life that is God. And as we develop our passions, we are often going out of our comfort zone and trying something new. We're open to growth and expansion because we believe in our dream. It's a project we're working on. Even so, when we try something new, not every step is success. Some efforts will fail, right? So what gives us the courage to pick ourselves up and try again when we fail? It's a sense of passion and purpose in whatever it is that we're attempting to do, because it's part of that divine impulse, that passion. Every mistake is only a learning step towards reaching our dream. Rather than freezing with self-condemnation and fear, we let the universe playfully experiment and practice with delight as it expresses itself through us. We can trust our higher power to guide us. Instead of becoming a clone of everyone else, we are learning to be someone new, to be ourselves, and share our unique gifts with the world. Now, Intuit is a software company that gives a special reward for the best failure, and they create failure parties to celebrate them. Right? They want people to risk doing something new, going out of that comfort zone. Intuit co-founder Scott Cook states, "Every failure teaches something important that can be the seed for the next great idea." Another company, Google, we all know that name, gives out rewards for making mistakes and taking risks. Now, both companies recognize that lessons come out of discovering what doesn't work, and it's as important as discovering what does work. Right? You have to think out of the box to move forward. Gary Zukov, in his book Soul to Soul, says, every circumstance serves equally the evolution of all involved, offering each individual the perfect opportunity to create anew and hopefully create more wisely and compassionately. A perfect example of this is Steve Jobs. Now, he invented the Apple computer, built that great empire, great stock, and then he was fired from his own company because his business skills weren't as good as his computer science skills, right? And then, after a while, his company hired him back because they needed those computer skills. They could take care of the business part, but they needed his computer skills and insight. And the reading that Carol shared with us this morning, based on John 14, which says, let not your heart be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me. Now, as Ernest Holmes explained in the Science Mind textbook, our hearts become troubled over many things when we're working to develop our passions, right? And yet Jesus spoke from that consciousness of deep inner peace when he said, when he told his followers to believe in God, and because of their belief in God, to also believe in him. Now, here's an instance where Holmes is describing the concept of the universal I am. He says, there is one infinite mind from which all things come. And there is one infinite substance, and every time a person moves, they are moving within that substance, right? There's no separation. And each time a person speaks, they are setting that one infinite law of manifestation into motion. And because we are each a center in that one, every time we shift into consciousness, into that Christ consciousness of oneness with the one, and say, I am, we are proclaiming that we are an individualized expression of the one, an outward manifestation of the universal I am. And that's so when Jesus is saying, believe in me, he's saying, believe in that Christ consciousness that is also within you, right? Now, Ernest Holmes also goes in to say, we are to believe in ourselves because we believe in God. The two are one. Right? So it's a very fundamental part of New Thought. There is no separation between us and God. We are one. How powerful is that? I mean, it's amazing that, God isn't something out there, this figure in the sky, in white robe and a long beard that's out there that we have to please and beg. No, God is all around us, within us. It's expressing itself as us, and each and every person that we meet, each and every situation, God, the presence and power of God is there also. And so our purpose and our passion and the impulse and the drive to follow and manifest that passion, it also comes from that divine source. So how to achieve that is a package that comes with that impulse. Any self-doubts that we have were created by us, by our non-belief, not by our higher self. And therefore, we can let go of those self-doubts. And this is where the grace of God comes in as our superpower. And this is where we can get into that flow that Jahred was singing about this morning. And so as we develop our passions and go through the process of progressively manifesting our purpose in ever greater and greater measure, we can remember that even though the evolving form may not fully yet match what we're seeking to create, we can trust that we are part of that onward march of the soul. The reading concluded this morning. We are to know that passing events cannot hinder the onward march of the soul. The temporal imperfection of the human cannot dim the eternal integrity of the divine. That is where the perfection lies, and that idea that is seeking to manifest. So, another part of having our passions manifest is that we learn to step back and see the big picture. Seeing the perfection that is underlying all events and creation. We also want to avoid judging the outcome of our efforts too soon, or taking score too soon. We've got this standard that we're trying to achieve, and if we're on step one, and it's many thousands of steps out there, we don't want to judge ourselves as being a failure. We're just on the pathway, right? And so Christian Sorensen, in his book Living from the Mountaintop, he says, when you're too close to something, it's impossible to see the larger picture. The defense system of your myopic vision will keep you from going outside the norm and acceptable peer projection, right? We hold ourselves back. So an example that can help us understand that is a tapestry. So if you look up close at that tapestry, it looks like a random mass of threads and colors, and you can't tell what it is. It makes no sense. You can't even really tell that it's thread necessarily. Is it a sun, flowers, a building, a symbol? What's a symbol of? And this is in our lives when we're trying to do something and we're too close and we're just right there with what we're doing, we feel separate. We feel alone. We're hyper-focused. We're separate from God. Now, if we step back and see the big picture, then we have context. We see how everything is woven together into a perfect pattern. This is when we're sensing the wholeness of the situation, that we are one with the one. It's not just the bits and pieces. It's not just what appears right in front of our eyes, but it's the whole of it. It's the beginning and the end, the Alpha and the Omega, and being a part of God. So if you can keep that slide up for a little bit longer. This tapestry is an Azerbaijani carpet. Now, the intricately designed and hand-woven carpets of wool, cotton, or silk carry their messages with flowers, animals, magical symbols, biblical motifs, scenes from poetry, and even portraits of respected leaders are woven into their carpets. The motifs and patterns used in the carpets convey messages used to convey fertility, protection, spirituality, and the natural world. The tradition of woven carpets dates back before the time of Muhammad to the Bronze Age. So many of the symbols are stylized representations of dragons and Zoroastrianism, and yes, they have the special prayer carpets that are part of the Muslim tradition, but it's more than that. And each carpet and its messages are treasured by its owners and the family. Right? Now, as recently as the early 20th century, Azerbaijani households had no chairs, armchairs, or sofas. They only had carpets rather. And in those days, they said that a carpet accompanied a person from birth to death. Right? They were a very important part of their culture. In their houses, sometimes the houses, if they had a big family, could be as big as a football field. Imagine that. And so they would weave maybe 5 carpets that would be laid side by side to cover that whole area. This is where the family lived. The children would play on the carpets. When girls married, they received a carpet as a dowry. And the bodies of deceased people were covered with a carpet from beginning to end. These valuable and beautiful carpets are treasured and passed down from generation to generation, even when they become worn and shabby, because they record the spiritual experience of the Absolute, right? And the values and the beliefs of the Azerbaijani people. If you try to leave the country with one, if it's 50 years old or more, it's not allowed. They're so treasured in that country. So the Azerbaijani carpets, then, are a backdrop for the life of wholeness, keeping everything in perspective. Now, this is a picture of a young woman, Aziza Mustafasad. She's a 21-year-old professional carpet weaving teacher in Baku, Azerbaijan. And in this display of her weavings in progress, the rugs and pillows, you can see how she has mastered the various patterns, colors, and intricate detail of portraits and images that convey the spiritual inspiration for her carpet weaving students, and the families who commission their very pricey but well-crafted carpets. Right? Your tapestry is unique to you and cannot be compared to anyone else. You alone know the purpose and reason behind each thread and color as you weave it in your life. And as you weave that life tapestry, you can choose to weave together your unique gifts and passionately develop them into a life that is filled with purpose, with love, and with great meaning. Pulling all of this together, we get to choose whether we want to live our lives feeling as if we were unworthy or as if we are living in those greater possibilities created by our higher self. There is no separation between us and the whole of the infinite invisible. We are one with the one, and we are each a divine seed waiting to sprout, right? Or maybe we've already sprouted and we're growing. The passions that call us forward inspire us to fulfill our unique purpose and express our part of the one, of the infinite invisible. What limits our progress? Our old beliefs of limitation, unworthiness, and fears that our gifts are unwanted or that we will fail. By boldly stepping out in faith and that we are one within one, we can take risks and develop the passions and expand the gifts that we and share them with the world. Take the time to vision for your personal future, your passion and your purpose, and then take the time and the effort to develop your passion and expand your experiences. This is the joy of being alive and being perfectly imperfect. Let's take this to prayer. And so, in this moment, we allow ourselves to just let go of whatever it is that we've been worrying about, of the rain coming, of the fires, and all of this going, whatever's happening in our life before or after the service, the power outage tomorrow, whatever it is, and we allow ourselves to just be, and remember that God is all there is. That one life that is wholeness, that is love, that is light, that is joy, that is deep, abiding peace and wisdom. That is the truth of the universe. That is the underlying life force of the universe. And in this moment, as we let go, we sense that power and presence of the divine within our own being, healing and soothing us, every nook and cranny being filled with the light and joy of freedom, of being alive. And that passion now arises front and center. And so we pursue that passion with joy, knowing that all that was required to bring it into manifestation is now provided in us and through us and as us and by the world around us supporting us. And when we feel that there is opposition or resistance, we go within and check and see and assess, are we on the path? Are we guided back to the path? But we start centered in spirit, one with spirit, knowing that all is well, all is flowing from the one without any hindrance, with that divine guidance. And so, as we live in our passion, we feel fully alive. We experience joy and love. We share it with the world. We share it with our loved ones in our family. We share it with our dear friends here in the Center for Spiritual Living Tahoe-Truckee, and we allow it to spill out into the world and the community to make it a better place. We use it to love the environment and to care for it with love and attention, knowing that it is also a divine creation. It is good to be alive. I am so grateful to be a part of it, to be a part of the flow that is abundant in every good way. All is well. And I say thank you, Father, Mother, God, for this moment, for this knowing, for this truth manifesting as our passion and purpose for each one of us individually and collectively as the Center for Spiritual Living Tahoe-Truckee. And as we move forward, that purpose for being here is made clear to us, each one of us. And we make decisions with confidence, knowing that we are about fulfilling that divine purpose and passion. All is well. All is God. And so I release these words knowing that it is already done and even greater. And so it is. And so we let it be. Amen. And so I'd like to welcome Jahred back for one more song. And he is, they say, in taking these words and putting them into practice.
Greetings, CSL. Oh, I put the capo in the right spot. I am Jahred Namaste, and I'm sending you these videos from the beautiful island of Hawaii. I'm on the big island, I'm not on Maui, so I'm not there with the fires. On the Puna side, on the wet side where I used to live for many years. Enjoying some recording time and enjoying some peace and space for my heart. Hope you guys are all well, you humans, you beautiful blessed souls. And this first song I'm going to play for you is actually one that I wrote when we were in the lava eruption back in 2018. A lot of people kept telling me, you gotta sink or swim, bro. And I was like thinking, but I don't want to sink or swim, I want to fly. And so this is a song called They Say. They say, gotta sink or swim, but I intend to fly. And they say that you can't always win, but I intend to try. And I know that we've all got dreams, yet I'm the crazy one for holding on to them, or at least that's what it seems they say. So many things, so I'll write my own way. I'll write my own way. When I was just a boy, they told me that I had no choice but to live this life the way the others did. And at times I did believe them, but those times depression set in, and I knew I must find my own way. Oh, they say so many things. Oh, they say oh, so many things. So I'll write my own way, live my own way, love my own way. I'll write my own way, live my own way, love my own way. Today, oh today, well I say, this is where I stand. And I say, this is who I am. And I say, this is my life. And I say, that I get to decide. And it feels so good to fly, feels so good to fly, feels so good. Feels so good to fly, feels so good to fly, it feels so good. write my own way, live my own way, love my own way. I'll write my own way, live my own way, I'll love my own way. Today, peace and blessings and aloha to you. Thank you. Great.
Okay. Well, now is our prosperity time. And here at CSL Tahoe-Truckee, we know that God is our infinite source for our center and for each of us as individuals. And if you were inspired by today's gathering, please consider sharing your abundance with our spiritual community. Donations of your time, talent, and treasure to our center support our vision of embracing all and serving with love while awakening to the one. We're extremely grateful for each of your gifts, and there's many ways to donate to our center that you can see on the screen. And so whatever your offer, take your idea or your intention or your check or whatever it is and hold it over your heart and read our prosperity affirmation with me. In everything I give thanks. I gratefully and joyfully share my offering, which flows from God, my infinite source. My gift blesses this center and all who are guided, healed, and empowered by activities.
God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything I need. God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God is my
And so we give thanks for these gifts which are so generously and graciously given, knowing that it is part of that infinite flow that supports us so completely from within and from without. Thank you, Father, Mother, God. And so it is.
If you're welcoming us joining us online, um, we're grateful that you're here, and you can go on our website and sign up to receive the newsletter as well. I want to thank people that were part of our service today. Our Zoom host is Diana Misetz. I want to thank our practitioner, Carol DalBon, for being our practitioner and doing the meditation before service, which is always a wonderful way to start the day. Our musician today, Jahred Namaste. Hospitality today was headed up by Nancy O'Neill. Thank you very much. And a special thank you to Nancy and the participants who did our adopted highway cleanup yesterday. And so Nancy O'Neill, Michael Sundholm, Michael Brandman, Adam Blankenship, Penny Scholler, and Ocean. I think, was that the right crew? And so there was a lot of stuff to clean up yesterday because there's been a lot of tourists around here this year, which is great. So we did our part too. So it's all beautiful again. And please stay and join us for hospitality afterwards. If you're here, we've got some great refreshments here. We can share some community. If you're online, stay online for a while, and we'll keep the Zoom room open so you can talk with all of your friends there online. And now next Sunday we have a very special Sunday. It's our annual drum circle. And it's going to be from 10 to 11:30 in place of our regular gathering. And is Colleen online? Yeah. Okay, yeah, they're camping today, and she was hoping that she'd have coverage, but if she didn't, she gave me this message to read to you guys. So, she says, "Hi, Reverend Pam, we are camping and might not be able to get on Zoom for service. So please share this regarding the drum circle next Sunday. This year's theme is boundless compassion and healing. Eckhart Tolle says compassion is a deep bond between yourself and all creatures. Experiencing, embodying, and expressing this bond opens the gate for healing. CSL Tahoe-Truckee's annual drum circle happens next Sunday outside and back of the center at 10 a.m. Facilitated by Jim Eaglesmith and Colleen Kiko. All are invited to chant, dance, drum, and enjoy native flute and multicultural spiritual sharing. If you like, bring a drum or rhythm instrument, folding chair, and something to share for the outrageous potluck lunch afterwards. Come circle up with us. See you all there. So it should be a wonderful time that we're out there, and it's, we get to be here on our property and give gratitude for the Washoe people and that we're here, and so it's a special time. Now the practitioner next Sunday will be Nancy O'Neill, and she'll be leading the meditation before the service at 9:25. All right. Now you can find more information about our spiritual center and the spiritual activities on the website. And also the video recordings of our Sunday services, some of the meditations and talks are also on there and on our YouTube channel as well. This week, our weekly e-bike group is on Tuesday morning, the 22nd, is meeting at 9 a.m. at Donner Lake to circumnavigate the lake. And there's directions about where to park, and there's a picture that's in both the newsletter and on the website, so make sure you know where everyone is. It's about, I think it's $10 to park there. And so they'll be going on, it's about an 8-mile ride. And then if you want to ride on the dirt trails, you can extend your trip and explore the 4 ponds that are behind the campground. And if warm, bring your water shoes and a swimsuit. I think some are supposed to come back, not by Tuesday, huh? Dress warmly. Dress warmly. Yeah, but it will be dry, so, okay. It will be dry. It will be dry. Okay, now this week we are having a special board meeting. Oh, well, it's our regular board meeting. That's this Tuesday from 1:30 to 4:30, in person and on Zoom. And if you would like to attend, we'll be talking about decisions about the building. And so please RSVP to my email, pcosbybrandman@gmail.com. So we can send you the Zoom link, or to the admin link as well. We have our class certificate Sunday is coming up on Sunday, September 10th. So if you've completed a class in the last 18 months, we're going to be giving out all the certificates. So we'll be having a great party and celebrating everybody's achievement in classes. And it'll also be time to sign up for our new classes that are coming. The red tent is the monthly women's circle at the New Moon Ritual. They met last Thursday, so the next one, next new moon, is on Wednesday, September 13th, 6:30. They meet at the Lake Tahoe Wellness Center. So bring a potluck gift to share, and sacred ceremony, and conversation with your sisters. Oh yes, bring silverware and your own dishes. But the food and your dish to share, but the rest of the food is great. And let's see, Adopt a Highway, that was yesterday, and so the next monthly one will be next on Saturday, September 16th. It's always the third Saturday from 9 to 12 or whenever they finish. More people, the sooner we finish. And we have 2 classes that are coming up that we're considering for this fall. And so we'd like everyone to decide which class you would like to take and sign up, and whichever one has the most sign-ups will be the one that we'll be teaching this fall. The other one I think we'll teach in starting in late January when the snow is. So the first class is Infinite You as the Universe. It's a 6-week course based on the book This Thing Called You. It's new curriculum, newly revised, so it has a lot more experiential things. It's 6 weeks class. And the other option is The Mystical Path, which is based on the book The Mystical Heart by Wayne Teasdale. And that's a 7-week class. And so you can take the class in person or on Zoom or a hybrid. So if you're traveling or if you're here some of the time and sometimes not, I know we have one person that lives in Auburn, and so she's going to be joining us hopefully on by Zoom. Question?
Yeah, the highway, not the highway.
We have to change it.
Yeah, okay.
We're going to change it? Okay. The date for Adopt a Highway will be changing because that's the weekend that Dr. Lloyd's going to be here. And so it'll probably be the one before or after. So to be determined. All right, stay tuned. And then also we have our regular weekly classes that are all drop-in on Zoom. So Tai Chi on Thursday at 3:30, or there's a meditation in the Ananda style, energization at 4:30, meditation at 5 with Mary McEnany. And on Friday is a Course of Love book study at 6:30. So those are all great things to do. And then we have our children. We want to bless our children wherever they are today. So if you would repeat our affirmation with me. We see you, we hear you, we love you. You are a gift from God. And so it is. All right. Now we have lots going on to support you. And if you would like to have a special prayer treatment of 5-minute miracle after service, please talk to one of our practitioners. So I'm a practitioner, and Michael Brandman is practitioner, Nancy O'Neill. Online we had Carol DalBon, and our guest is also a practitioner, although you might want to have a prayer as well. So, but you'll make our day because we know that prayer works. So now we come to our closing song. If you would all stand, and that'll be followed by our affirmation. And we're singing only the verse, or the chorus to the songs.
I cracked. I stood up.
Is the link not there? Looks like the link is not there. Oh, you did? Oh, good. It's on the link's on the first, should be on the first one, so maybe it got deleted. Okay. Oh, there it is.
Not gonna cave into this pain in my heart. Not gonna listen to lies of self-hatred. Not gonna cry over yesterday's loss. Slip into darkness and wallow in pain. I've been there and done that, and I will not again. Instead, I'm gonna rise up with spirit. I'm gonna rise up, remembering who I am. I'll rise up with spirit. Now I surrender. I'm not gonna fear it. I'm gonna rise up with spirit. You see me sitting with a smile on my face, counting all of the blessings I'm given, learning to love me the way that He does. I'll open my heart and let it all in. I know it gets better with each moment I'm in. I win. I'm gonna rise up with spirit. I'm gonna rise up, remembering who I am. I'll rise up with spirit. Now I surrender. I'm not gonna fear it. I'm gonna rise up with spirit.
All right. You read our affirmation together. I am a spiritual being living my perfect human experience.